Setting up a turntable can be tricky business, but don't worry, we're here to help. We've decamped to one of our listening rooms with our product of the year, the Riga RP3 turntable, and technical editor Ketan Baradia to talk you through some simple tips on getting the best out of your deck. Record players are arguably the most temperamental of hi-fi components, and even the best can be easily upset by inconsiderate positioning, poor adjustment or inadequate support. Get everything right though, and they can shine in a way that will make you wonder why we ever bothered with digital. The first thing to get right is not the turntable, but the support it sits on, which has to be absolutely level. Any deviation will affect how well your player works. If your record player has adjustable feet, make sure it sits flat. And if it has suspension, ensure the platter is level too. You can use a spirit level for this. It all sounds a little obvious, but making sure everything at every step sits level is vital, because you'll never be able to optimise the performance of your deck if you don't get this right first. The support the deck sits on should also be rigid and well controlled in terms of internal resonances. Now everything is level, we move our attention to the Tonearm. Most turntables under about £1,000 come pre-assembled, as the RP3 does, with its Tonearm and the LS2 cartridge attached and adjusted. As you move up in price, it becomes more common that a certain amount of assembly is involved. You can get the supplying dealer to do this, but if you fancy doing the setup yourself, it isn't too difficult. If you're fitting the Tonearm, you'll need an appropriate arm board, and most turntable manufacturers should be able to offer a range of options to suit your brand. The height of Tonearm will be preset in pre-assembled decks, but if you're going DIY, it will be adjustable. You'll want to check its height is parallel to the record surface when the cartridge sits in the groove, but only once the tracking weight is set correctly. The tracking weight is adjusted by moving a counterweight at the rear of the Tonearm, and additionally on the RP3, using a spring adjustment. Adjust the weight until the Tonearm is balanced and set the downforce according to the cartridge manufacturer's recommendation, to start with at least. Here it's 1.75 grams. You can then use a tracking force gauge to fine-tune this, which may come included with your deck. If the tracking weight is set too high, the sound becomes dull and ponderous. Too low and the presentation will turn thin and the cartridge won't track the groove properly. The last adjustment on the Tonearm is that of bias. Bias is a sideways force on the cartridge to balance out the inward pull of the record groove. As a rule, the bias is usually set to about the same amount as the tracking weight. As with tracking weight though, don't be afraid to play around with the bias setting if something doesn't sound quite right. Small changes can make a notable difference. When it comes to the cartridge, most are pre-mounted on the Tonearm with a couple of bolts, but can also be hand-picked and fitted yourself in pricier decks. It's easy enough if a touch fiddly. You'll want to make sure the colour-coded wires from the Tonearm are attached correctly, and use a cartridge alignment gauge to ensure it's rightly positioned. Even small errors in alignment increase distortion massively, so take the time to get this right. Most deck manufacturers include a gauge, or you'll be able to get one from your dealer. Finally, it's worth making sure the Tonearm lead that runs to your amp isn't stretched or kinked and is positioned from anything that runs on mains voltage to prevent any excessive hum. Get all this right and you'll have a deck that's working at its very best. So hopefully with our top tips you've got all the knowledge you need to get your turntable set up correctly. If you've got any questions, do leave us a comment below, and if you've liked this video, give us a thumbs up and click subscribe for more. If you want to get in contact, you can get us on all of the social media channels. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and add us on Google+.